seamless. My nose is running. Can you see that on Facebook?
So in the plate final in berth one is Boscastle Boscastle in Blackbird, and then it's Bristol in Governeck, then Brixham in Wasp, Cattil Key in Top Catch, Bude in Endurance, Clevedon in Anita Mary, and then Lyme Regis B in Peveril. So we actually, quite amusingly, just had to hold up the start while our lunch was being delivered and we were right in their way. So we've got out their way and now we can bring you this, what looks like a very close race. So what are we seeing, Claire? Who looks strong here?
So Coateal in Top Catch straight away off the start. We're up ahead, but the Bristol crew in Governeck, they were holding them. So they are starting to make a move back now. And then as you look along the line a bit the other direction, Lyme Regis B crew, you can start to see now as they get a bit closer together, the boats, they're actually still got an overlap with Top Catch. So not too far off the back. I can't tell yet where Boscastle and Blackbird are in terms of the line, but Bristol are definitely ahead of them. And then we're just watching Coateal, see if they can keep hold that line. They've got a bit of wash here on the track of their course now, so we'll just see how they come out of the other side of that wash.
Yeah, so this is obviously what we expect to see in the finals, is that it looks a lot closer, doesn't it? A lot of crews really close and battling with each other. Yeah, and it's difficult. So I would say Cattil Key and Top Catch, the yellow boat there, they look to be ahead, but they've got Governeck, which is the Bristol crew, inside them. So Cattil out in the lead. They're going to be pushing and pushing because they don't want Governeck sitting there in that position as they get down towards the umpire boat. Quite a way to go before we get to an umpire boat yet. But yeah, it could all get a lot closer and a lot more exciting than we saw in the heats earlier on.
Yeah, Lyme Regis B crew here just came off the power there, just not holding the other crews as much as it looked like they might, coming in from the far end of the line. And now Coateal, like they did coming off the start, they're just starting to pull away, and where you thought Bristol might hold them and had some early power, they are showing the way now, and Coateal Key's got clear water on Bristol. They might tuck in front or hold their line and go for this shallow mark before the turn. They've got about 8 lengths before they do this shallow turn into the course down the Catwater.
Yeah, and it is a turn just about, but it is very, very shallow, isn't it? So it's more just to place them in the correct part of the river, really, as we go down. So it looks like Blackbird, which is Boscastle, moving through into third place past that Lyme Regis B crew, and carrying quite a lot of speed as they move through into third as well. So maybe just starting to worry that Bristol crew in second a little bit. Oh, and they're taking it really close, aren't they? They're gonna. I thought the crew in Blackbird, which is Boscastle, might need to lift their oars over there, but look really close into that buoy, but still rowing past it.
They've stretched each other out now, haven't they? Bit of a procession, and a bit more wash on the water. This will sort them out a bit more. Let's see who's got the capacity and the timing to get through the wash.
Yeah, I think third place, Boscastle. I think they're the ones to watch as we come up towards the umpire boat. We're only about halfway down this first leg, really, but just look at that bow. It's sneaking ever and ever closer to that Bristol crew, isn't it?
Yeah, and now's the time. You know, you can't leave it too late. If you want to push for an overlap, you've got to go. I'm sure they're doing everything they want to do it, don't they? Even though this is the plate, they're still competitive. They don't want to lose any honour or position. They've been waiting all year for the Masters Championships.
So Catil Quay in first place. They've got half a boat length clear water over Bristol and that beautiful varnish boat, Governeck. They're getting pushed really hard then by the yellow boats, which is Boscastle. Then there's a little bit of gap back to the Lyme Regis B crew in Peveril. Behind them in Kenza is the Brixham crew. There's quite a good battle going in between those two crews, and it looks like Kenza, they keep their nose in, might be able to hang on and get water in the inside line for that turn. Then a little bit more of a gap back to Bude in Endurance, and just behind them, but staying quite close to them, is Clevedon in Anita Mary. So yeah, I don't think that Boscastle crew, they haven't done enough yet, but the timing of that big push is really important. They don't want to go too early, get their nose up in front and then run out of steam just at the critical point, and the Bristol crew go back past again. So obviously the Coxes can see where that umpire boat is. They'll be trying to work out at what point they're going to go for their big push. And crews train for this, don't they? That push to the umpire boat. You've got to know that, you know, that next minute or two is going to make a big difference to the outcome of your race to get a good line for the mark.
Yeah, they do train for it, but I don't know if you notice sometimes you think like 2 or 3 of the crew have actually noticed there's a call and they've got to go for it, but unless all 6 go for it at the same time and they've trained and they know and they have to go and mean it, and you notice some crews are like, oh, shall we go? Are we going? And then if they miss that sweet moment, then it's not going to work. So yeah, you've got to get it right.
And Boscastle, they've seen now that they're not going to get the nose up inside, so you can see that Cox has now adjusted his line a little bit, come out a little bit wider so that he gets a better and easier turn without losing so much boat speed. If he could get his nose up the front, he'd be giving himself a really tight turn, losing a lot of boat speed. So yeah, the good Cox in there, he knows what's happened. He knows they're not going to get that water, and he's moved out, changed his line, ready to keep the boat speed up there. I'll tell you what, I think we've got the Lyme Regis B crew and then that Brixham crew. Now this is going to be a tight call, isn't it? I think Lyme Regis probably just got it, but Brixham pretty close there.
Yeah, Brixham trying to hold that inside, but they don't have an overlap.
No, not quite. It looks a little bit closer from where we were initially, but quite close. And yeah, that Brixham Cox now.
And they're really slow out of the mark, so
yeah.
second and third.
Yeah.
Just really slow around the marks. The boat's piling in behind.
That's the danger of those really tight turns. You know, you lose that boat speed.
A bit of tide going up the river now is pushing them off that mark. So
yeah,
they're turning as they would, but they're
yeah, they're kind of washing down a little bit, aren't they? So yeah, in fact, the crew there in looks they've gone really wide. Who is that in? Is that the Lyme Regis B crew that have washed out really wide in Peveril? And they've just allowed that Brixham crew to come right up inside them.
I think the same thing happened with Governeck in second. Suddenly they had the boat right up inside them coming out of the mark.
So the Brixham Cox there has taken a big advantage there, and they've actually made quite a big, you know, they've gained two boat lengths there, a position change, pushed themselves through into 4th place.
Yeah, and then they don't have the boat speed and the adrenaline kicks in, and Lyme Regis B crew are saying, no, we didn't want that to happen. And they're coming back at them.
Yeah, so a fantastic race for 4th place between those two crews. Moving back to have a look at this battle for 2nd place, still Bristol out in front, but only a tiny little gap back to the Boscastle crew in 3rd place. So up in front, Top Catch, Catil Quay, they've got 2 or 3 boat lengths. So I'm not going to say it looks comfortable for them. They're going to have to work to maintain that lead. And then, yeah, really strong battle for 2nd and 3rd, and then a really strong battle for that 4th place. So yeah, seeing some really good racing within this group. And again, looking all the way back to the Clevedon crew back in Anita Mary at the back. They're still well within this race as well. A couple of boat lengths off the back, but quite close racing. It's split into 2 groups there, hasn't it? We've got the first 3 boats all close together, and then the next 4 a little bit further back.
Yeah, they look great, and it's phenomenal, isn't it? So the second place boat was nearly caught by the third, just because of the swish round the buoys and the way the momentum on each crew, where they lost momentum in second, and third place boat really pushed them. And the same thing happened to fourth and fifth. It was interesting to see that, and a really good opportunity. It shows you that even though you think there might be, they're all laid out in a line now, they're not really. There's opportunities at the buoy if you've got the momentum and you get the timing right for a really hard push.
Yeah. Yeah, watching the body language, you got that Boscastle crew, and they're really they're putting lots of effort in. They're throwing themselves back. Yeah, so a lot of energy going in that Boscastle crew in Blackbird. Bristol looking a little bit more composed, but still working very hard. Yeah, nice flowing technique from Bristol. We're right up alongside them. Good work from them. And they're really hanging on to that first place, actually. So that gap, do you think it's narrowing a little bit? It's definitely not growing, I can tell you that much. So first, second and third are really close together. Kind of a more or less a boat length of open water between the stern of one and the bow of the other.
Yeah, the coxswain in top catch, the Coteau Masters crew there, he just had a look back, but he can see them behind them. He's got Bristol behind him. He's beaten both of them. He's beaten Bristol and Boscastle. They should be very proud of themselves. I think we're going to dive up to the final of the Masters and catch the start.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that race. We'll try and bring you the results as they come in. Yeah, so they're just gone off on the cup final of the women's. So they're now starting to come towards us. So as they come towards us, let's have a look and see who we've got as we go through. So I'm going to go off my phone, Claire. I'm not saying anything about your handwriting on the board. Well, I've got it here, sorry. So in berth 1, we've got Dart in Winspit. In berth 2, Appledore A in Zorn. In berth 3, Lyme Regis A in Amazon. Something I'm just going to check here. Sorry, Jay. Do you know it's the Women's Cup, isn't it?
This plate is heading straight for the cup final. They're like literally going to collide with one another.
So yeah, I'm reading up. It's the cup. Yeah. Okay. So it's, 4 is Team A in Brilliant. In 5, Paynton in Pegasus. 6, Yelm in Volante. 7, Helford in Len White, and 8, Flushing in Helford. I'm going to pass you over to Claire for a moment because she's actually got a good eye on the drone footage.
Who's in the other white boat? Yeah, so fantastic drone footage. I hope you've got this. So Amazon, Pegasus and Volante out in the front there. Can't see it without my
So
glasses.
again, a really good view here of one race passing the other race.
Oh, so
They're
it's
really close together, aren't they?
Boscastle in Amazon.
I'd move over if you can, Elliot, as quick as you can.
Paynton showing up really well there. They're just trying to hold on to second next to Lightning, which is Yelm. So we've got Boscastle just out in front in the Amazon. Lyme Regis A crew out in front. They've got Clearwater now.
Saying in second, Claire. I can't call that one. That's really close, isn't it? So we've got
Watch out for the mass.
we've got Paynton crew up in Pegasus. We've got in Winspit is Dart. They're on the inside there in the dark blue boat. Brilliant is the team crew. In Pegasus, yeah, Paynton and Yelm in wow. Got loads and loads of people battling out for second place. But out the front in Amazon, Lyme Regis A, and they've got Clearwater, haven't they, on everyone behind. So good news for Lyme Regis at the moment.
The movement just now is the Viridian, which is Teen A crew, are just edging ahead.
Yeah, so Teen, the ones they've got to be wary of is Winspit look on the inside there, isn't it, in Dart. So if they can get just another metre or two, they can kind of cover off that Dart attack on the inside. And they're sneaking it, but there's not quite clear water yet. But actually that's pushing them up, isn't it, onto Lyme Regis A. And they're Clive, the coxswain of that Teen crew, he's going for the outside because I don't think he's got any option. I wonder whether he's going to wish he'd gone for the inside as he pushes up towards that mark.
Yeah, definitely. You'd really want to, wouldn't you? Give yourself the option later down into the race. They've done the shallow turn, so that's gone. Next thing's the umpire call.
Yeah, so really strong for third still, isn't it, with that Dart crew in Winspit on the inside. Then you got the Paynton crew in Pegasus. And then you got Lightning, so Lightning quite close to us here. That is not in fact Lightning, it's Volante on I think that's Yelm, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Yelm crew. And then Zorn as well, right in the mix, Appledore Ray. Really strong showing from Devon and Dorset crews here, isn't it? So that's really good to see.
Well, you called that from a really early stage. You were saying that Dart was the ones to watch, so, and up they come now, and they're even pushing to try and get an overlap on Teen.
Yeah.
So see if they get that. They've got a little bit of water left. They've got time.
Yeah, and it's so the bow of the boat's got to be past the cox of the boat on the outside. Not quite there yet. Very, very close. They have got a little bit of space in there. And it looks like the Teen crew, for a moment, they were coming up alongside Lyme Regis, but they've dropped back a little bit now, so there's a metre of clear water. Oh, it's good. How far have we got? Maybe a minute.
Yeah, you
maybe
wouldn't want
more.
to be umpiring. So first, second and third, but we're waiting to see if Winspit get the overlap. That's Dart over Teen. We're just waiting to see if they get that. I don't think anyone's going to get an overlap on Amazon at this stage. But and then we've got three in a line for fourth. So that must be Zorn, must be Appledore.
Yeah.
Am I right? And then Paynton, and then Helford on this outside. So you've got three in a line here. Good luck to the umpires. Let's see what they call on those.
Yeah, just looking at that Dart crew, look, I think they're just sneaking to a point now where you're
10
going to call
lengths.
it. Yeah, and there's really not far to go. So, really exciting for first, second, third. Really exciting for fourth, fifth, sixth. Really, really close final. We said, didn't we, in the heats that we thought this could be really close. There didn't seem to be only one dominant crew.
Yeah, I think they were just warming up this morning, and this is where they're really going for it now.
They're seeing a Helfer crew. We're in a great position here, aren't we? Our boat is right up alongside these rowers, so we're really in the action here. It's really, really exciting. So there's the
they've just
umpire
called
boat.
Dartmouth over Teignmouth and given Winspit the mark.
Yeah. And I can see, it looks like the Teen crew, Clive's just told them just to back out of it a little bit there. They can't back out too much because they've got a lot of crews coming round outside them.
And Appledore right behind them. They're going to close that gap as well, Appledore. Turning a bit earlier this time, maybe realised that the tide was pushing people down the river.
Yeah.
Amazon's still clear coming out.
There's some really good coxing here. There's a lot of boats really
So
close together.
Viridian's got the worry now that they've lost the place to Appledore if they get that wrong.
Yeah.
And then Paynton coming round the buoy there in Pegasus, nearly got the inside on Appledore.
So Pegasus turned in really tight after that mark and looked like they were going to come right up inside, and then kind of changed their mind and have moved out a lot wider. I think they've realised that if they come in at that sharp angle, it's just going to be too much. So how are we doing with these lead boats? Well, Lyme has still got that good advantage. Dart have come out second. Teen have come out third, having rowed round the outside. And then it's Appledore. Appledore have done well because they've had a really good turn. There was a bit of a gap, wasn't there, from first, second, third back to fourth place. They've now kind of put themselves up almost joint third,
Yeah,
so brilliant.
Appledore's just given themselves an opportunity for a medal there to get into the bronze position. Brydion had nowhere to go because they had the outside, and Zorn pulled. Or if they've got the power now and they can.
There's a little tidal advantage here to do what Teen's doing, so Clive's taken that crew right over towards the docks there. Oh yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a clash look between Paignton and Helford, Len White and Pegasus. Yeah, I think just a difference in boat speeds there, and the Paignton crews just run into the back of Helford a little bit. They sort themselves out.
I think some of the coxswains coming back up here, so they're coming against the tide now, and they're trying to stay close to the quay side to maybe have a little bit of an advantage with slightly less tide. But saying that, here in the battle for third, the outside crew is in the river. They are Appledore, and they are trying to pull ahead of Teen, who are right on the quay side. So perhaps it's overcomable, the tidal advantage.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to look at the. You can see a few bubbles and bits and pieces floating on the water, and I can't see that there's really any tide moving at all close to the side there. So I'm not sure if there is that much of an advantage. But you'll take any tiny little advantage you can. Normally, if you go the outside of the river on an incoming tide, going in that direction, you're going to find something. But it's quite deep water there, so. And their piles driven in, so I don't think it's made that much of a difference. But the battle for third, it's just stayed static, hasn't it, really, coming out of that turn, not really changing at all.
Yeah, so I say Appledore might have a few feet. They're on the outside of the curve round back down to the finish line to see how they manage that. They're sat in a little bit of a wash behind Winspit, which is the dark crew, so could be they've got an advantage from that. They don't look like they're panicking, but this is a championships, and hopefully they know that they're going for bronze and there's only two in front of them.
Yeah.
But they look very solid.
So it's impressive how close this is, just looking at first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and almost eighth, really. How many boat lengths do you reckon? 7 or 8 boat lengths maybe between those crews. So it's really is close racing here.
Yeah, and how close they were coming round the buoys as well, and absolutely together at the buoys. I think we had 5 boats round in a few lengths.
Yeah, and really good coxing as well. So lots of potential for it to all go wrong around those turns. They're really tight turns, 2 of them really close together. All the coxers did a good job, didn't they, of giving their crews a good line round there and also managing to avoid each other.
Yeah, just a little tussle, Len White and Pegasus, but Pegasus is like 3 lengths back of Len White now, so not really sure what that was about. Just different lines that coxswains wanted to take after they came out of the second mark. So we're just looking at this battle for third still. Appledore, they look relaxed, but there must be a lot of power going down because they are holding that crew, and that's Teen A who came out of the blocks on the start really hard. So the fact that these guys are holding them is interesting. It's good. I'd say they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
They must have to be very concentrated, quietly getting on with the job.
Yeah, and Teen, I think maybe Teen have got a metre or 2, but it's been ebbing and flowing, hasn't it? I love these races. They're really hard work.
I'm starting to bite my nails because they're a bit neck and neck now, and I want to shout at them. Do you realise? Come on.
Yeah. And these 2 crews,
sure they're
going to be pushing themselves up towards second. We're probably 2-3 minutes from the finish, so positions could change yet. These 2 coxers just got to be careful because their oar blades probably getting quite close together. I think they're okay. I can see the Teen crew, Teen Cox Clive. I can see his shoulders just starting to come up towards his ears a little bit as the tension builds. So he's really pushing them. And you feel it in the boat as a Cox, don't you? When
I think
you're in
they've
these
gone.
races?
Yeah, look, they've gone now. Like Appledore have gone. They're like, right, finish line in sight. Let's go. They've kicked up a little bit.
Yeah. Again, this it's
Last
how
chance
far
saloon. You've got to go
how far
now.
from that finish do you start your push? So in first place is Lime in Amazon. They're a few boat lengths off the finish. They've been pushed hard, but they've held that. They've got that good lead early, didn't they? They pushed off really hard off the start and held that lead. Second place at the moment is the Dark Crew in Winspit. They're really strong. Massive battle. Still don't know which way this is going to go for third place between Appledore and Teen. And then right behind them still, almost on their transom, is the Helfer Crew in Len White. What a brilliant final we're getting. Third place, I would say Appledore now just starting to get it. They've got their push. They've probably got a metre or two from the angle we're looking at it anyway.
Yeah, cool as cucumbers they've been as well. Lyme Regis, absolutely phenomenal.
And
Dartmouth, rubbish start and came back and they've took silver. And these two for third, well, we'll have to see what the finisher says.
So that's Lyme Regis, A Crew. They're also aloft. They are the Masters Women's Finalists 2025. They're cheering the Dark Crew as they come across the line. They appreciate they've been given a really good race. Third place, I think we're going to say, is Appledore. Fourth place, Teen. Look at those team rowers. They are absolutely trained. That's the Appledore. Well, it really hurts, but they'll have loved that race. Fifth place is the Helfer Crew coming across. Sixth, really, really close battle. Oh, I don't know on that one. That's Paynton, and looking across the Lightning Crew is Yelm. Yes, it's the Yelm Crew there. So really strong from them. And in Helford in 8th place, that is going to be Flushing. Of course it's Flushing, looking at their kit. So, well, I enjoyed that, Claire. Did you? That was quite an exciting race.
I like a bit of head-to-head, and they're working together. Oh, actually looking across at the other boat and absolutely like we're not going to give it up. So I thought Appledore was going to give it up for a minute there, but they did not.
Yeah, and Tina be gutted that they let that place slip. It was only by a few metres. Someone's got to come third, someone's got to come fourth.
Yeah.
Both crews looked absolutely exhausted once they stopped rowing. But yeah, Lyme Regis, I think we said Lyme Regis, we were expecting them to be really strong. They got pushed really hard. It was a really close final, but they came out on top.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They look phenomenal. They dominated it. I thought Lyme Regis A Crew, really phenomenal crew. And bringing their B Crew as well. Obviously their B Crew is in the plate just now. So great response from that club as a club. I was just noticing now, because we've got to final stage, so the boats aren't strung out and they're not, like, it's not a procession. There's a lot of close racing. I think the finals that are coming up just bodes well for more excitement.
Yeah, so thanks to all of those crews for giving us such a fantastic final. Both finals were good, but that cup final was exceptional, really close racing. Well done to all those crews. So stay tuned, like, subscribe. We're going to be back to you with the Open Masters finals very soon. See you then. Okay, welcome back. So we're into the Open Masters 2 finals. First one is this plate one, so that's the lower position boats in the 2 heats. So going through from the far side from us in lane 1 is Bristol B in Kenza. Then in 2 it's Coteau Quay in Endurance. Berth 3 is Clevedon in Top Catch. Berth 4 Flushing and Myler in Wasp. Berth 5 Brixham in Peveril, and berth 6 is Weymouth in Anita Mary. So they're all really close to the start line. I think a few of them just a little bit further back, so be under starters' orders. Yeah, and they've all gone through the line from the sound of it, so it's sort of backing up.
There's a bit of tide now pushing them over the line, I think.
Yeah.
Not a lot of tide here in the river. Just enough that it set them against the wind.
Something we haven't seen, I don't think so far, is a club in their own boat, which makes life a lot easier sometimes. So I thought we almost did Clevedon in Top Catch, but a yellow boat, but the wrong boat. They've normally got Blackbird, haven't they, Clevedon?
Blackbird, yeah.
So yeah, and you've got to be careful sometimes when you're backing up like this. It's harder to position the boats, and sometimes you can back up and then up all caught up in each other's oars, can't you? So it looks like they're off. They're away.
Oh, Governic pointing the wrong way. Come on, Flushing. Very smooth.
Yeah, so it's the middle of the pack, isn't it? So I think it's
Clevedon
in
very
Top
smooth
Catch
off the
and
start there.
Flushing and Myler in Governic looks to be the 2 boats out ahead, and just close to us here the Weymouth crew and Anita Mary as well, going really well. Always, you can tell what time of year it is when they're in their vests and their woolly hats at the same time, can't you?
Yeah,
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great rowing uniform, vest and woolly hats. We're going to pull hard, but we don't want to get cold either.
I'm pretty sure by the end he won't be wearing that woolly hat. We'll see.
So that's the Weymouth crew there, and they're actually pushing Flushing a little bit, do you think?
Yeah, they were kind of off the start not so strong. Flushing were the ones that really got out, weren't they? But Weymouth look really strong here. They're kind of sneaking back up on the outside of the Flushing crew up in the lead there.
So I think that's Coteau in Endurance. They look very tidy. They're holding off Brixham.
Yeah, and it's quite a slow rate, isn't it, for that Coteau crew in Endurance? Particularly off a start, but the boat's going well.
Yeah, they're not allowing the first 3 to get away. Brixham aren't holding them though. That they've gone back a little bit from these first front 4. And Bristol B crew also bringing up the rear, but they look tidy. They obviously warmed themselves up this morning. Be interesting to see when we come up to the shallow turn if Weymouth can get ahead of the Clevedon crew in a minute. They might lose out with this shallow bend in the course here.
Yeah, so it's a race on second at the moment. Flushing and Myler extending that gap now, almost a boat length of clear water between them and the 2 boats ahead, but really strong battle here for second. So yeah, Clevedon looking strong in Top Catch. By the time they get down towards that bottom mark, we'll have the inside at the moment. Oh, there goes that hat. Yeah, I thought he'd lose it. It's definitely a bit chilly in the wind, isn't it? But once you're a couple of minutes into a race, you'll have definitely warmed up. So Clevedon, they're going up ahead now, aren't they, into a clear second. Weymouth were quite strong, kind of came up level with them for a while. And now Clevedon have responded.
Yeah, well, I hope they're not disheartened just because they're on the outside, because they don't want to be dropping back, because Coteau Quay are there pushing, holding them. They're not actually, if they did a big push, they'd get the inside overlap. So Weymouth don't want to be just letting go just because they've got the outside. They need to hold on and keep pushing, because they don't want Coteau Quay to get a sniff of some water there on the inside.
Yeah, and the Coteau Quay cocks will have definitely let them know that there's Weymouth on the outside and they're rowing up inside them. So yeah, it's quite entertaining battle for second, third, fourth here. It was interesting how Weymouth kind of started slow, then really pushed, and then it drew back a little bit. You know, the Coxes will be calling for pushes at different points. You quite often find that you can push for 10 or 20 and you can gain a bit, but quite often if you've done a big push, you've got to recover from it, and you'll often slide back a little bit again as well. So we see that happening a little bit. And it's up to the Coxes to try and work out when they want that push, to use that strategically. Quite often it's for as you're coming up towards the umpire boat to make sure you got water, or a big push out of a mark. Sometimes as well you do it just to knock the confidence of a crew that you're racing. Get yourself out the eye line of a crew next to you when you're going past them, because once you've forgotten about the crew that's just gone past, you tend to stop trying. So a lot of psychological play as well here.
Well, I think if the Endurance, which is Coateal Quay, they've definitely got an overlap now. They're not more than a few feet short of Anita Mary, Weymouth crew. If they've got anything now, they want to be pushing for that to make sure that they secure that overlap and go round in third.
I've been quite impressed actually with the crews that have been on the outside for those two tight turns, and how they've managed to keep boat speed. And sometimes you think two sharp turns like that in a row where you're on the outside, you'd expect to lose quite a lot. But I think the fact that they're using a lot less rudder by going out the side, it's kept it. It's a disadvantage, but not as big a disadvantage as I thought it might have been.
Yeah, there's some of the crews have managed to make themselves an opportunity just by being there or thereabouts. They've took advantage of some opportunities they've had round the marks to get ahead and then have a big push out of the marks.
Yeah, and those crews that have kind of spotted a gap on the inside, quite often it looks like they've made quite an advantage, and then actually by the time they've lost the boat speed and come out of it, they kind of drop back a little bit again. So if I was the Cox, I'd definitely want to be on the inside.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's all over if you're on that outside line.
So Flushing and Mile are just going to the umpire boat now, and they've probably got four lengths or so on the second place boat. They just had a bit of a battle and only just missed the final in the heat, didn't they?
Yeah.
They must be thinking, wow, we've come so far in this plate race, why weren't we in the final? But them's the breaks, isn't it? If they weren't quite switched on this morning, and they certainly look switched on now.
Yeah. Quite tight line into this first turn. Oh, and we're seeing a toss to the oar there around that mark as well. That's the first one of those I think we've seen today, isn't it, Claire?
Yeah, I haven't noticed anyone toss yet today. They're going full on, holding water in 5, or not quite, and tossed. You need to go back.
But,
perhaps they're not going back. Perhaps they're going to row all the way around.
Yeah, just keep that oar over. As I say, it's almost just keep a long sweeping arc, isn't it, round there?
Yeah.
To try and maintain the boat speed.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
So Coateal
tactics.
Quay haven't done that inside boy turn there as well as you would have thought. Top Catch is still holding them. Now he tosses back, and they'll probably do a really big push away now. Flushing. They did look like they put quite a bit of training in, and they were really determined and showed a lot of tidy rowing there to see off the rest of the crews.
Yeah. So
yeah, and there's a massive push away now. How are they coming out in second?
Yeah. So Weymouth, they're going into that. It do look like they've lost out a little bit on that one, despite what I was saying about sometimes that outer line not being so bad. So first place Flushing and Myler, they've kept about the same, well, probably lost a little bit, I would say, wouldn't you? I think maybe they've lost a little bit of their lead by a boat length, maybe, coming out of those turns. They did that tossing buoy turn. So second place in Top Catch is Clevedon, just about by a metre or two over the Coateal crew in Endurance. And then Weymouth, yeah, they've definitely came out of that losing a couple of boat lengths. Sometimes it's just the luck of the draw where you are on the course as you come up to that first mark. first 4 boats are quite a way ahead, aren't they, of the last 2 boats. It's got Peveril, which is the Brixham crew, and then we've got the Bristol B crew in Kenza. But those 2 crews are fairly close together, so they've still got their race there towards the back of the fleet.
Yeah, I think their races with each other there at the back. They still look tidy, but they're nowhere near the money in this plate, are they?
I'm watching these two crews. We've got Top Cratch, the Clevedon crew, and then the Catil crew and Endurance, and they're pretty much matched on their stroke rate. They're watching across, so the stroke side rowers of the Catil crew and the bow side rowers in Clevedon are eyeballing each other, aren't they? I love it when you're in races like that and you're just watching and trying to see if you can inch past, a few inches at a time each stroke. Looks like the Catil crew at the moment have got the boat speed on the Clevedon crew.
Yeah, they're moving now. I don't think they had the best buoy turn, and then when they came out of the buoy, they was still using a bit of rudder and making a indecision about what line they were taking. So perhaps didn't have the speed straight away, but they're showing it now. So they've got the shallow turn, which isn't in their favour, but they're holding Clevedon. They still look really tight. A little bit of chat in the boat there. We're close enough to just see some heads turn slightly and maybe a few comments. But in general, they just look really solid, and they look like they're taking a tiny bit of boat speed out of Clevedon.
So Flushing and Myler, they've built that gap up again. They seem to lose a little bit, maybe just going around those turns. The 2 boats behind are obviously racing each other, and quite often that starts to draw those crews back up towards the boats in front. But Flushing and Myler have got quite a good gap there, 3-4 boat lengths of clear water. They'll be enjoying watching this race behind. Bit of entertainment for them between Clevedon and Catil Quay. Catil Quay now half a boat length ahead, would you say? Still moving forwards.
Yeah, it looks like it. They would say the rudder's on the 3 seats, so they've got a good half length there. They look like they're rowing within themselves, but with loads of power. So like that, don't let it drop. Oh, there's a few grimaces. I think they are trying to put that down now and get properly ahead. I love the coxswain. She's so animated. There's hand signals and arms all over the place. Really great, passionate coxswain there. I don't think they're watching her, but she's still using her arms, which is it's really, really graphic.
And sometimes I speak to different rowers, and it's funny what people want from a cox during a race. Some people like lots of noise, really vocal. Some people like it to be a little bit more calm. I quite enjoy quite a lot of engagement from the cox, even if I'm not listening to everything they're saying, which I should be. It's just you feel like they're in that race with you and they're really pushing you and motivating you, and that cox is definitely doing that. She's quite vocal, she's quite animated, she's pushing them forwards.
Yeah, I love it. I love watching the coxswain and see what they do. Some of them sitting stock still, and some of them like swaying or moving with the boat. There's lots of different ways of doing it.
Yeah,
everyone's got an opinion.
I found it as well myself of where I've actually started seeing stars when I've been coxing, because you're shouting so loud, you're not really getting any proper breathing in there. And my fingers are tingling at the end from the lack of circulation. You're seeing stars. Sometimes you just have to stay quiet for a moment, which the crew probably enjoy, just to catch yourself back up. So we're only probably 5-6 boat lengths now, aren't we, from this first crew coming across?
Yeah, we're just about at the finish here. But I mean, it's a plate race, but they all look great. They all look fantastic, don't they?
Yeah, so the Flushing and Myler crew in Governeck in the plate race. Bow rower in a very Flushing and Myler hat there in the bow, so looking good. Last few strokes as they come up. So yeah, so that's Flushing and Myler, winners of the plate race. We're going to now start to have a look at the cup race. While we do that, Claire, just having a look at the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, aren't we? So
Yeah, so there's Coattail Kia second on the plate and Clevedon in third in the plate. Weymouth, who came in third, but they're now fourth. for
yeah, and that
plate
race kind of petered out almost, really, didn't it? Towards the end between Paynton and Coattail. So in berth 1 we have Teen in Helford, berth 2 Caradon in Len-White, 3 is Torridge in Amazon, 4 is Bristol A in Lightning, 5 is Appledore in Winspit, 6 is Swanage in Pegasus, Helford is Zorn, and in 8 we got Mount Spey in Young Bristol.
So in one of the heats we were watching Helford try and hold Caradon, so we'll be watching for them again.
Yeah, so I think I seem to remember Appledore were pretty strong as well, weren't they, from memory. So Caradon going into this as favourites, but there's some strong competition out there. I think loads of them have gone through the line, haven't they? I'm just trying to have a look.
We're just waiting for Brixton to come in.
Yeah, so
and,
yeah.
Bristol B.
Yeah.
They've got the drone on there now.
So yeah, with the as one heat or one final was finishing, the other one's rowing towards them. So just got to make sure the course is clear before they start.
So this is Brixham just finishing the plate, Brixham, and then Bristol B. So Bristol B just coming in the last place of the plate, just behind Brixham, and the final are just on the start line, ready to go.
Yeah, so the starter just turning. They're all 3 or 4 legs up, so there'll be some backing up to do before we get going. No one's ever keen to back up, are they, on the start line? It's always hard work trying to get it back up, and there'll always be one crew that sit there and pretend they haven't heard. So yeah, we can see both the Bristol crew and the Mount Spey crew there, both a couple of boat lengths over the line at the moment, and now starting to back up into position. So Caradon in berth 2 on the far side in Len-White. They've got Teen one side of them, they'll be fairly strong. They've got Torridge the other in Amazon. I'm not sure how the draw is done on this, whether it's random berths or whether they put winners into certain positions, or whether they put them in the middle or into berth 1 and 2. Not quite sure, but
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
yeah, Caradon will win as of their heat. They're in berth
And
2,
was
and
second,
Helford,
yeah,
yeah. So not quite sure. I think it might just be a random draw. Yeah, so some crew still backing up now. So I think what the starter's asking them to actually get way back behind the line, then row back up onto the line again.
Between the white flags, they're probably about a boat length.
Yeah, it's the voice of Justin, the very experienced starter, Justin. A lot of these big events, he doesn't take any messing around, so you will get a decent line before they go off. So yeah, just final few instructions from the starter. Some deep breaths going on with these rowers. They've really got focus at this point. Make sure they're listening in their cocks. Big deep breaths, ready to go at any second.
Lightning, that is Bristol A, yeah? Winspit.
Yeah, so look.
There's Appledore. So Appledore are pushing the line a little bit. And then
So generally,
Torridge is in Amazon, they're a little bit back.
yeah, there's some arms waving around there. So I would imagine what's happening is there's some oars overlapping. There's lots pointing. There's a Cox with their arm up. I think that's the Caradon Cox. Yeah, sometimes as well the wind is actually blowing from this side of the line down, so it means that they're kind of drifting into each other a little bit. The wind always sort of acts on one of the line and pushes them all together. So yeah, so the starter's just asking them just to back up, find themselves some space again. So you'll see them row away from the line. Not particularly anyone's fault there. It's just the wind, I think, it's all blowing them together. And you can see right over on the far side the team crew ending up sort of right up along against the wall there. So yeah, the rowers will row round again and have another go. So what's quite interesting is we've got Allard on the boat doing a camera with us. He quite often is a starter as well, so he's having a little chuckle in a watch. He's been there, he's done that before. Yeah, sometimes you get people trying to take an advantage and being awkward on the line. I think in that case it's just by the time they've got to the line, the wind's bunched them all up together and they're all overlapping oars, which is why you saw a lot of arms going up. First of all, it's a bit unfair obviously if you've got people overlapping oars, because you can't row properly. But second of all, it's not worth all the broken kit, is it? They're expensive boats, expensive bits of expensive oars as well. So yeah, wise decision. Just get them to row round, line up again, maybe leave a little bit more space between each other, and have another go at it.
Just Swanage.
So yeah, we've got Swanage closest to us here in Pegasus.
So yeah, they look relaxed, like, oh yeah, we're going to row round again. We know how this works. It's happened before. We're just going to do our best. Get it right next time. This is when some of these races now where they get everyone to marshal a few lengths behind the start, like they do at the World Championships in the Scillies on the races. Marshal people behind the start, and then when everyone's pointing in the right direction and far enough apart, then they call them to the line. So we don't want people pushing the line or people clashing. People have trained and come a long way to do this. They want it to work off the start, don't they? So I can see why the starter would send them round again.
I'm just watching a couple of the Swanage rowers, the bow pair there that I've when I rowed at Swanage, rowed quite a lot in crews with them in. They were young men back then. They're still very young at heart now as well. But loads and loads of experience with some of these rowers. A lot of these rowers have been rowing since their clubs were formed. Most experienced people in the club, and the experience, particularly if you go out in the rough weather, isn't it? That's when you see the real experienced crews come to the fore, being able to handle the conditions. So they'll have been through many big events before. Yeah, it's still taking a while to get this kind of reset, finding their berth positions again.
Yeah, they're going to probably give people to line up behind the line, but with more up towards the windward end of the line, so that if it takes a little while to get them on the line, then they've got the space to drift across.
Yeah, I think I can see the Caradham 4 rowers stood up there and just shouting at some of the other crews and saying, come on, get where you need to. You really got Amazon, they've had a quick row round, they're back up, look, that's Torridge, just up on the line. They've got to be careful, they don't all bunch up too much. They do seem to be, we've got the width of the river here, and they all seem to be trying to get really, really close to that side. Not quite sure why. I would have thought there's probably a bit more tide, I guess, over that side because we've got a slight bend in the river, but not a massive advantage really. I don't think anywhere on the river.
Just show they're all weighing up any type of advantage they can, and then they take it so seriously. There's so much passion for their sport in their category. They still want to win it, don't they? Everybody's very competitive, and all the age categories massively competitive.
Right, so it sounds like, well, it looks like they're definitely spaced a lot better, doesn't it, Claire? I think the starter's just giving them final instructions, asking them to very, very gently come up to the line. Ideally, they all kind of come up together at exactly the same time. So it sounds like we're about to go away, yeah, and they are off.
Oh, so Team well up on the line, and Bristol well up on the line there. But Carradine already pushing it out.
Yeah, I know, you can spot Carradine. You almost don't need to know which boat they go. They're just those first 3 or 4 strokes.
Let's see if Helford can hold them. Oh, it's all in a row. Just as
Oh,
expected.
look at that. That's incredible. The view you're getting now of all those boats really, really close together. I think this is going to be a really tight final. Helford have gone out really strong, haven't they, in Zorn. They're definitely lead boats at the moment. And then in Winspit, that is, who we got in Winspit?
Appledore.
Appledore. They're looking really strong as well.
It's Helford, Appledore, Mounts Bay, Carradine, Bristol.
Yeah, and I'm just looking
Torridge
at
and
Team did okay, didn't they, in that opening round, but they've dropped off the back a little bit. So maybe they'll come back into this a little.
I think they would have picked up any boat and taken it. They are rating high, catching quick, straight in. They've dropped the Appledore guys in the Winspit there now and got clear water over them. But I'd say Carradine are holding Helford just with that half a length clear.
Yeah, Carradine, they won't be happy about the fact that Helford are that far ahead this early, but other than that, they're looking really strong. You know, they're at sensible rates. They're up on the inside really effectively in second position, aren't they, at the moment, and starting to row through Appledore slowly.
Yeah, they look like they're moving. They're definitely moving against Appledore. Might be moving against Swanage a little bit as well. They've pulled away from them. It's whether they can move against Helford and get an overlap. It's now or never. They've got to go, really.
Yeah, so it's fairly tight at the moment for second place. Swanage, they're doing enough to maintain fourth at the moment. So the danger for them is probably, who have we got in Amazon over the far side? Torridge, isn't it? So Torridge looks like they might be sneaking their nose up the inside of the Swanage crew there. Really nice close racing again though.
Yeah, and then in 6 Mounts Bay, and they did an early flash in the pan. First 20 was phenomenal. They've come back down to the other end of the fleet now, and they've got Bristol A crew inside them, with an overlap. So they're looking like 7th at the moment, and Teen 8th.
And Carradine have really pushed through into second place now and gone past that Appledore crew quite easily. They'll be setting their sights on Helford, and I would say Helford went out really strong, but Carradine are now starting to come back towards that Helford crew again.
Yes. I don't know if they can see the drone on it, but they have not got an overlap, and if they want to go for it, it's really now.
Yeah, I would say they've made up half a boat length or a boat length in the last couple of minutes, haven't they, on Helford? So yeah, and Jay's saying that from the pictures he's seeing on the drone at the moment that Carradine are now would have water over Helford. So great race.
So Helford and Carradine have left 3rd, 4th, 5th. They've left them behind. There's like 3 lengths now. So they are racing for it. This is the championship right here.
Yeah.
3/4 up.
So Carradine just looking like they're a higher rate than Helford by a couple. I love Carradine's really aggressive catch. Something I've spoken about when I've been coaching some crews is how dynamic and they are on the catch and how early the power's on. And you can see that they're really strong. Helford also looking really, really tidy. So yeah, dead level at the moment. Carradine crew on the inside though, of the Helford crew, about 4 boat lengths to the call. Going back to 3rd place, Appledore still in 3rd, that's fine. Then we've got Swanage, and it is that I said that I thought Torridge might come up on the inside of them, which happens. So it looks like Torridge would have the call at the moment on the Swanage crew. So that's over 4th place. And then 6th, 7th, 8th, really close. Bristol in 6th. And then it's in Young Bristol there, it is Mounts Bay and the team crew dropped off the back a little bit, and look, now starting to come back into the back of this race again. Okay, coming into this first mark then, so Caradon on the inside, coming around first. Helfer taking a nice wide line, so they'll hope to carry plenty of boat speed in. Maybe, they see what they're doing, that Helfer crew, just seeing if they can turn earlier, tighter, and trying to get up the nose, up the inside. They've got to be careful here. They can't impede on that 5-rower, so, and they're right on the limits of that, so
If
really
they can hold
tasty.
that overlap for the second mark, that
Yeah.
puts them
So I
an
don't
opportunity
think-
there.
Yeah, so they've had to close back, but they certainly gave it a go.
Well, coming here in the 7th and 8th, you just seeing the team got the call inside Mounts Bay, so they're coming round on the inside and getting 7th ahead of Mounts Bay.
Yeah, nice turn there, Rachel the Cox from Teen, taking advantage of that bit of open water there and coming through. So really tight final again, with all the boats really close together. Again, nice tidy coxing as well.
So Caradon pulled away there, defending their title, came up on the inside and took the boys.
Just it's kind of getting a bit tight there on that mark, and again, there's two crews have gone really
Teen
wide
is
of that
gonna
mark,
get
and
it.
Teen, Rachel, a very experienced Cox, again she spotted that gap, she's gone through it. So Teen have come through from last, now put themselves up into 1, 2, 3, 4, pushing for 5th place. So yeah, a great combined effort between the crew and the Cox there, and they're looking really dynamic and really punchy coming out. Look at that, there's a belief there now.
Yeah, nice to see that.
Oh, we're going to have a
Teen-
little clash here between Young
Teen did
Bristol and
really
Lightning.
well.
Similar to what we saw before, wasn't it? Where there's one crew that just kind of comes out faster out of the turn and on slightly different lines.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what happened on that second buoy there. Team got a brilliant line inside. There was a tangle up between Torridge and the Bristol crew with them was almost touching, or perhaps touching the rudders. They took advantage, and the Teignmouth crew really grasped that opportunity. It worked in their favour.
And there's something that fires you up, isn't there? You go around a few marks and gain a few positions, and suddenly you have that belief in it. It really brings you back into the race, fires you up, and
Well,
you really push.
Just before the umpire's call, I think Tin were last, and they're now fighting for 5th.
There goes the coffee. Yeah, so first place is Caradon. They've now got a couple of boat lengths of clear water over Helford. Helford, who was so strong up at that first leg, but they haven't managed to hold on to the experience and the tenacity of Caradon. Appledore are in 3rd, and they're chasing hard that Helford boat in 2nd as well. Swanage in 4th. Not much between all of these crews, quite close racing. 5th place is Torridge. 6th place is Teen. In fact, Teen and Torridge very even at the moment. Then it's Bristol, and then going back to Mounts Bay. Yeah, Caradon having to work. Helford, I would say, I don't know, it looks like Helford to catch him back up again, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a hard push if they're going to catch them up. If they do that, that's a phenomenal row. Let's like to see that.
Yeah.
Come on, Helford, we like to see a race. Make them work for this title.
Yeah, again, not quite as close for battles as we saw in the women's races, but still pretty close all through. Although we don't have any boats really up alongside each other, the gaps aren't that big between all of them, so they'll all still be believing here. It looks like the Teen crew as well, they have just dropped back into behind Torridge a little bit by about a boat length.
Yeah, so last to 6th because of Boyton shenanigans, but I'm looking at Helford here, and I think they've closed a bit of the gap.
Yeah, it was definitely coming out the turn, it was 2 or 3 boat lengths of clear water. Now it's a boat length of clear water. you know, you got the Appledore crew pushing as well, so that's getting the Helford crew really working hard because they can see that Appledore crew close to them. I mean, we've got probably 2 minutes of rowing, if that, towards the end. So it takes something quite phenomenal now for Helford to be able to catch them past Carradine. But you only got to have one crab corpse, broken pin, anything like that, and this could all yet change. Right up alongside the Carradine crew through in the Stream Team boat now, looking really strong. They're all looking at us going, wait, that's a bit cosy. But yeah, it's great to be that close to them. They've opened up half a boat length again, I would say, haven't they, over Helford. So Helford have put that big push in. Carradine have responded a bit and just opened it back up. They're working hard. I don't know, Carradine have got a lot more than this. This is good because Carradine haven't walked away with this. They've been pushed hard. They stay calm in that first leg where Helford flew out into the lead and looked really dominant. But they just believed in themselves and slowly come back through.
Yeah. Oh, and that's
yeah,
the
there we
5-oar. Nearly crabbed it. They just went for a little push, Helford, but they sat in the wash off Carradine, so it didn't quite work. Definitely didn't work for number 5. Will they try and push again?
The good news for that 5 rower is I think both of our cameras were pointing away from that boat.
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
So here they come. This is Carradine A in Lem White. So the Masters Open 2025 winners. Last few strokes. They've done it before. I'm sure they'll do it again. There's Carradine. They are the champions, slapping each other on the back. They worked hard, so the oars are quite slow to go up, but they'll work their way up. They brilliant race with Helford. Helford really took it to them in that first leg. And the 3 cheers go up. So again, good close racing back behind as well. So 3rd place is Appledore over the line. Cox applauding his crew there. They worked really well. 4th place is Swanage in Pegasus, the light blue crew there. So we're expecting a strong showing from them, and they've certainly maintained that form. So 4th place them. In 5th place is the Torridge crew in Amazon. And then just behind them, they had a good battle with Torridge, is the Teen crew. Dave in the stroke there, hands on his head. What could have been when they came through those marks up into 5th place. But they're good, yeah. And then back in Lightning, there's the Bristol crew coming over the line. And a little bit further back behind them is Mounts Bay. So really, really strong rowing, really close finals we've had in both the women's and the Open. Exceptional rowing from these Masters rowers. You know, they don't. Masters is the age category, but it's also a kind of defines what we're seeing in the boat as well. They are masters of their craft, aren't they? These top crews.
It's a great race to see. Phenomenal rowing. I think Carradine, from the start, about a minute and a half into the race, there was clear water and they were behind. So it took them most of the first leg to catch up, but once they got to the umpire boat, they had the overlap and just were dominating from then on. Fantastic. So I think we're wrapping up after that race now. We need to calm down after the excitement.
Yeah, we will mop up the spilt coffee, and we'll come back to you to resume with the county championships. With I think it's the under 16s, under 14s races we've got coming up. So we'll see you then.